My own sister deliberately excluded me from her wedding guest list, telling me to understand difficult choices. Instead of begging for a seat, I booked a luxury trip. When her perfect wedding collapsed into chaos, my entire family suddenly begged for my help. Excluded from my sister's upcoming marriage, I decided to take a trip. When the ceremony unraveled, my entire family desperately tried to reach me. "You're making too much of this. It's only a wedding," my mother declared. I hadn't received an invitation to my own sister's wedding. Instead, I had booked a journey. Days later, my relatives barraged my phone. I sat, staring at my display, rereading the message for the 5th time. It said, "Hey, just wanted to let you know the guest list is finalized and we had to make some difficult choices. Hope you understand. Love you." Difficult choices. Difficult choices. I wasn't some distant relative. I wasn't an old family friend they hadn't seen in years. I was her brother. And my sister, the very same sister I'd supported through every challenge, heartache, and moment of insecurity, had simply dismissed me as an afterthought. I glanced at the screen, a slow wave of disbelief spreading through me. I almost laughed, convinced it had to be a mistake. I picked up the phone and dialed my mother. She answered on the second ring, her tone cheerful. "Hey dear, what's up?" I didn't bother with pleasantries. "I just got a message from Emily. She says the guest list is finalized and I'm not on it." There was a silence, just long enough to confirm my earlier suspicion. "Oh, honey," my mother sighed. She always used that tone to imply I was being irrational. "It's just a wedding. Don't exaggerate this." Just a wedding. A burning sensation tightened in my stomach. "Are you serious?" I inquired, my voice unusually steady. "Mom, I'm her brother. How am I not invited to my own sister's wedding?" She made a tooting sound, as if I were a small child having a tantrum. "It's not personal." They needed to keep the attendee list small. "And Mom," I interrupted her. "I just saw Emily's Instagram post. She invited 150 people." Silence, then a forced laugh. "Well, you know how these things go. Weddings are costly. And perhaps they thought you wouldn't mind missing this one." I felt as though I'd been punched. "Wouldn't mind?" I repeated. "Mom, I've been there for Emily through everything. I helped her move twice. When she lost her job, we covered half her rent. And I was the one who helped her recover from her last breakup. But now I'm not important enough to be there on her big day." "Oh, stop being so dramatic," my mother responded with a sigh. "It's only one day. You're overreacting." I chuckled briefly, without any humor. Overreacting, indeed? I could already foresee how things would unfold. I would argue. My mother would brush me off. Emily would undoubtedly offer a half-hearted apology later. I'd be expected to forgive and forget because that's what I'd always done. Not this time. Something inside me snapped. If I wasn't worthy of being included, then fine, I wouldn't be. I ended the call without another word and started browsing my phone. If I wasn't going to Emily's wedding, then I was going to be somewhere far better. I was going on a vacation. The more I considered it, the angrier I became. I wasn't the kind of person who got upset over minor issues. I had let many things pass before. Emily had consistently forgotten my birthday. She would only contact me when she needed something. Our mother always wanted me to be the understanding one. Emily consistently got away with everything. But this was an entirely new degree of disrespect. I wasn't going to sit around moping while my sister and the rest of the family celebrated their cheerful wedding without me. If I wasn't important enough to be present, then I wasn't important enough to be there when they needed me. I grabbed my laptop and started searching for flights. If Emily could have the happiest day of her life, then I planned to enjoy the finest week of mine. It took less than an hour to arrange. I booked all-inclusive lodgings at a 5-star resort in the Caribbean, a suite with an ocean view, spa treatments, and access to a private beach. I had always told myself such a trip would be too costly. Not this time. I wasn't just traveling for holiday. I was making a statement. When the wedding weekend arrived, I was already airborne, savoring champagne in first class. I made sure to upload a picture, legs stretched out, drink in hand, with this message: "Guess I got cut from the guest list, but I think I'll manage." The responses were almost instantaneous. Some of my cousins sent laughing emojis. My aunt, the only sensible family member, commented, "Good for you. Should have brought me along." But the best reaction? That came from my mother. She sent me 3 texts consecutively. Mom asks, "Where are you?" My mom, "Are you seriously skipping your sister's wedding over this?" Mother, "You're being petty." Petty? I wasn't even close to being done. I replied with a photo of the beach, complete with white sand, crystal blue ocean, and a postcard perfect view. Ideal vista. Then I powered off my phone. I wasn't about to let them guilt me. Not this time. For the first time in many years, I wasn't prioritizing my family. I was prioritizing myself. And it felt incredible. By the time I reached paradise, I had entirely shed any lingering regret. The moment I exited the airport, the warm ocean breeze embraced me, carrying the scent of salt and tropical blooms. A private car was waiting to transport me to the resort. A sleek black SUV with chilled towels and bottled water in the back seat. Yes, this was far superior to a wedding. As we drove along the coast, I mused on how right I had been to do this. Back home, my family was presumably busy preparing for the big day. My mother was probably inventing excuses for my absence. My sister was laughing with her bridesmaids, not sparing me a second thought, but I wasn't treated as an afterthought here. Here I was the priority. My priority. The resort was like something from a dream. The lobby featured enormous palm trees growing inside, a vast open-air design that welcomed the ocean wind, and the kind of service where you were greeted with a cocktail before checking in. My room was unbelievable, floor-to-ceiling windows and a private balcony, and the most magnificent king-sized bed I'd ever seen. I tossed down my belongings, walked out onto the balcony, and simply absorbed it all. Then, just to make things worse, I took a picture of the scenery and posted it with this caption: "When one door closes, another one opens, preferably to a beachside suite with endless margaritas." I knew it would circulate back to my family. And honestly, I hoped it did because for once, they could understand what it felt like to be excluded. And I was just getting started. The first full day of my escape was simply marvelous. I began the morning with room service, which included fluffy pancakes, fresh fruit, and coffee so exquisite it spoiled every cup I'd ever tasted. Then I spent the entire day doing exactly what I wished. No obligations. No family drama, just me, the ocean, and a schedule focused solely on my own pleasure. By the afternoon, I was lounging on a sunbed by the infinity pool, martini in hand, watching the waves roll in. Every so often, I'd glance at my phone, not to check in with my family, but to look at the increasing number of reactions to my vacation posts. The comments were priceless. Cousin Jake: "Bro, where even are you?" Aunt Lisa: "Okay, now you're just showing off." An old college acquaintance: "Dude, invite me next time." Finally, I received a notification that made me smile. "Emily saw your post." Oh, now she was paying attention. I could just picture her reaction. Sitting in the bridal room sipping inexpensive champagne, scrolling through Instagram only to see me living my best life while she worried about her wedding. Good. I leaned back, took another sip of my drink, and thought, enjoy your special day, sis. I hope it's everything you wanted. However, as the sun began to descend, something unexpected happened. My phone started to erupt. Initially, I disregarded it. I assumed it was just more people reacting to my pictures, but then I noticed the names: Mom, Emily, Cousin Jake, even Uncle Rob. Call after call. Texts arriving nonstop. I raised an eyebrow and eventually opened my phone. The first text I saw was from my mother. "Mother, call me. It's an emergency." An emergency? About attending the wedding? I sighed, pondering whether I truly cared. Jake then sent another message. Jake's reaction: "Dude, you are not going to believe what just happened." Oh, now I was intrigued. I sat up and scrolled through the texts, and I quickly realized that the universe had given me the most wonderful wedding gift I could have ever hoped for. Because, as it turned out, Emily's beautiful wedding had gone up in smoke. I scanned through a flood of messages. My grin widened with each one. Jake replied, "Bro, you dodged a bullet. Mother, call me right now. This is a family crisis. Emily, please. Where are you? I need you." I stretched out in my lounge chair. I took another drink of my cocktail and continued scrolling. Then I found a message that made me laugh aloud. According to cousin Melissa, the groom simply walked out. I almost choked on my drink. Did the groom leave? Oh, this was better than I could have imagined. Curiosity got the better of me. So I eventually texted Jake back. My response: "What do you mean he left?" Jake: "Dude, during the reception, full meltdown. He and Emily had some huge fight, and then he just walked out. Straight up left the venue." Jake again: "Oh, and then Uncle Rob and Dad got into a screaming match over who was ruining the family's reputation. Grandma cried. The venue cut the bar early. It's a disaster." I leaned back, smiling. My sister had refused to let me attend the wedding, believing she didn't need me. And now, suddenly, I was the first person they all turned to. I could already hear my mother's voice in my head. "You need to fix this. Emily is devastated." "Yes, no thank you." I opened the next message. It came from Emily. Emily says, "Answer your phone, please. I need you." Oh, suddenly I was important. I took a deep breath and typed back a single response. Me. "Sorry, I'm a little busy enjoying my overreaction. Hope the wedding was fun." And then I blocked her phone number. I blocked my mother. I also blocked Jake, just in case he got drawn into their guilt trip operation. Then I set my phone to do not disturb mode, waved over the bartender, and ordered another drink because while my family spiraled, I was in paradise. And for once, I wasn't bothered. The following morning, I awoke to the sound of waves breaking on the shore. The scent of the sea and tropical flowers wafted through my open balcony doors. I stretched and yawned, and for one lovely minute, I almost forgot about the chaos back home. Almost. Then I looked at my phone. Even though I blocked most of my family, I still had over 20 missed calls from unknown numbers. They had tried everything to contact me. Several voicemails had managed to get through. Despite my better judgment, I pressed play on the first one. Mom's voice, frantic. "I don't know what you think you're doing, but this is not the time for one of your tantrums. Your sister is devastated, and we need you here. This family needs to stick together right now." I rolled my eyes before deleting it. Next voicemail. "Emily is crying. I don't understand why you're doing this. You're my brother. I need you. Please just call me back." Click. Deleted. The next one made me laugh. Jake whispered as if he were hiding in a closet. "Dude, Mom and Aunt Lisa are planning to show up at your apartment when you get back. Just a heads up. Also, Grandma keeps saying the wedding was cursed because you weren't there. It's hilarious." That voicemail? I saved it. I tossed my phone on the bed and stepped out onto the balcony. The sun had just begun to ascend, casting a golden radiance over the ocean. I took a deep breath, allowing its warmth to envelop me. Back at home, my family was scrambling to manage the fallout. Meanwhile, I was here sipping espresso while wearing a bathrobe, enjoying the best decision I'd ever made. And the best part, they were now experiencing what I had felt when they cut me out. Unwanted, forgotten, excluded. It was rather poetic, actually. But I wasn't finished yet. I grabbed my phone. I took a photo of my breakfast, which included fluffy pancakes, fresh fruit, and a mimosa so brilliant it could blind someone, and posted it with this caption: "Starting my day stress-free. Hope everyone back home is doing okay." Then, just for amusement, I went through my blocked messages, grinned at all the missed calls, and ordered another mimosa. I had no intention of calling them back. Let them clean up their own mess. I was on vacation. By midday, I was relaxing under a secluded cabana, sipping a tropical drink with an umbrella, when my phone vibrated again. This time the message came from cousin Melissa. "Melissa, okay, I know you're angry and honestly, you deserve to be, but you have to hear what happened after the wedding. Call me. You're going to love this." I raised an eyebrow. Melissa had always been the only cousin with any sense. If she said I needed to hear something, It was probably worth my time. So, despite my better judgment, I called her. She answered on the first ring. "Oh my God, you're finally picking up," she exclaimed, unable to contain her excitement. "Okay, are you seated?" I surveyed my shaded cabana, the vast ocean before me, and the chilled beverage in my hand. "Yeah, I think I'm in a good place for whatever this is." Melissa let out a breathless laugh. "Okay." After the groom left, Emily had a complete breakdown. And I don't mean a few tears. I mean yelling, wailing, and throwing objects at the wedding party. I smirked. "Sounds about right." Melissa continued, her voice brimming with enthusiasm. Everyone was trying to calm her down. Mom overheard Aunt Lisa suggest that the disaster could have been avoided if you'd been there. I blinked. "Wait, what?" Melissa giggled. "Yes, she was saying that you've always been the one to fix problems when Emily spirals. That if you were present, you would have talked sense into the groom or handled everything like you normally do." I burst into laughter. "So, let me get this straight. The same family that barred me from the wedding is now blaming me for not being present to salvage it." "Oh, it gets better," Melissa remarked. "Mom told Lisa she was acting ridiculous. And then they started fighting loudly. Then Grandma became involved, saying Emily brought this on herself because she offended the cosmos by not inviting her brother." I almost choked on my drink. Melissa was cackling now. Grandma lectured Emily in front of everyone, stating, "If you had treated your family better, you wouldn't be alone in your wedding dress right now." I leaned back, smiling. "Wow, that's beautiful." "Oh, and then," Melissa said, "your mother attempted to contact the groom's family to resolve the situation. His mother just smiled and said, 'This is your issue now.'" I had to set down my drink before I spilled it from laughing so hard. "So," I said, regaining my breath, "where does that leave Emily?" Melissa sighed. Still weeping, still blaming everyone except herself. Last I heard, she was trying to save the wedding with some sort of backup plan. But let's be honest, she's not going to bounce back from this. I shook my head, grinning. "You know what the best part is?" "What?" I took a slow sip from my drink. "I don't care." Melissa roared with laughter. "Honestly, I don't blame you. I just thought you'd appreciate knowing that karma did its work." "Oh, I love knowing that," I remarked, smiling. "Thanks for the update, Melissa." "No problem," she replied. "Enjoy your trip. And for the record, you did the right thing." I hung up, more satisfied than I had been in years. They wanted a wedding without me. And now, thanks to their own self-centeredness, they had a catastrophe instead. I picked up my drink and raised it to the sky. And I toasted to the best decision I'd ever made. Then I turned off my phone and settled back in my cabana. Let the beach air wash away the rest of my remorse. For the remainder of the day, I didn't look at my phone. Instead, I booked a sunset cruise, allowed the warm breeze to sweep over me, and had a 5-star meal by the seaside. My family was still piecing together the fragments from Emily's wedding tragedy. I was enjoying the greatest steak I'd ever had. At some point, a thought occurred to me. Perhaps I should feel sorry for her. Then I recalled how she left me out without hesitation. Yes, no. I took a sip from my wine. I took one last photograph of the view and shared it with a single caption: 0 regrets. Finally, with a contented smile, I turned off my phone again. Let them stew. I was done being their fallback plan. The following morning, I awoke feeling lighter than I had in years. No guilt, no tension, no last-minute family emergencies that became my responsibility to resolve. Just myself and the sound of waves, and an entire day of nothing but peace. I stretched, ordered room service, and out of curiosity, I turned my phone back on. A big mistake. Within seconds, my notifications surged. Mom said, "You need to stop acting like a child and call me." Emily's response, "I can't believe you're doing this to me. You are so selfish." Your mother, "This isn't funny. Emily is heartbroken. Do you even care?" Unknown number, "Possibly my aunt. We need to fix this family before it's too late." I groaned and shook my head. It was almost astonishing how swiftly they moved from ignoring me to expecting me to remedy everything. Then one message caught my attention. Melissa, okay, I understand you're ignoring everyone, but please read this. Your mother is trying to gather the family for a discussion when you return. Just a heads up. I almost laughed aloud. Oh, they assumed I would return as if nothing had happened. As if I'd just show up and let them guilt-trip me and pretend the entire thing never occurred. Yeah, not happening. I quickly replied to Melissa. Me? Thanks for the warning, but I won't be there. Melissa says, wait, what do you mean? Me. I'm extending my trip. They wanted to cut me out. Okay, I'm cutting myself off altogether. I could almost visualize her reaction. A mix of astonishment and amusement. A few seconds later, she responded, Melissa, okay, that's iconic. Tell me everything when you get back, whenever that is, LOL. I grinned, set down my phone, and grabbed my laptop. With a few clicks, my trip was officially extended. Another entire week. No family. No drama. No family discussions. Just me and the water. They never allowed me to have peace. And the best part, they couldn't do anything about it. Before heading to the beach, I sent one final text. Me, Mom, and Emily. Oh, so you want me around? Sorry, I'm too busy enjoying my reactions. Have fun cleaning up your own messes. Then for the last time, I blocked their numbers. I put my phone down, ordered another drink, let the sun warm my skin. No guilt, no tension, no regrets, just peace. And it was the best decision I'd ever made. Thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so and hit the notification bell to stay updated with more compelling real-life narratives unfolding.